Welcome to another episode of Legion Elite Motorsports. I'm your host Isaiah, and on today's episode we are going to be doing a whole host of things. Actually, we're going to do the big brake kit for the Eclipse GSX. We're also going to be doing the steel braided brake lines. We're finally going to go for a test drive, which is much needed. And we're gonna go for the installation of the front lip and the installation of the rear spoiler after being off for so long. So let's dive in and see what's what. Man, that title knows exactly what to say. So with the title telling you what we're gonna do today, what's the number one thing that you need for when you're going fast and having a good time? Brakes. So let's see what we got to upgrade these brakes. Okay, as the name suggests, we have a Cadillac CTS-V brake upgrade. So we got the rotors. I went with regular standard rotors instead of drilled and slotted and all of that good stuff, at least for now. And then we got the bolts for the calipers. We have the brake, making a mess. We have the brake lines for the front, and I figured, hey, why not get the brake lines for the rear too? So we have those also. And yes, we have the hardware for the calipers, the brake pads for the calipers, and then the calipers for the calipers. So let's get all of this stuff over to the car and let's see how it all goes in. Okay, so we're gonna lift up the front. We are going to remove the original equipment, and we're gonna assemble some of this equipment. Basically, here are the calipers. The rotors are 12.99 inches, so technically 13 roughly. And 4 piston calipers from 2004 Cadillac CTS-V. And yeah, we're gonna make it happen. We got the pads, brake lines, hardware, everything we need right up top. So first thing I do want to do is I want to connect the brake lines to the caliper, so once I remove the original brake line, I can immediately put in the new brake line and bleed the system end game. We also have some steel braided brake lines for the rear, which we'll get to as soon as the front is complete. So let's get to it. Okay, so things we got to take off is the rotor, the back plate, caliper, including bracket, and brake line. So I'm going to grab some tools and we will get started. All right, so instead of cutting this one out of the way, it would be nice to have some sort of, coverage in general. So I just basically bent it out of the way, all the way around, so it doesn't get anywhere near the disc, but it still provides some protection, whether it be oil spillage, busted boot, you don't want none of that rubbing all over your disc. So I just bent it out of the way. So next, make sure you use a line wrench, 10 millimeter, right? And then you're gonna take this line loose. Now, instead of making a mess all over the floor, I would like to take the line loose and then go ahead and put in the new line immediately. So I'm going to take and put the caliper line on and tight, and then we can start the bleeding process once all 4 corners are done. So I'm gonna open up the package. As you can see here, this is the part where you put in the line. Simple enough. And we're gonna mount the disc and caliper and attach the line. Like I said, we have the bolts right here, ready to go. Before you put on your disc, you need to put on your ring to make sure that the disc lines up appropriately and it doesn't wobble all over the place. So we're gonna take and pop the disc on after I unwrap it and take it from there. First impressions. This thing is huge! Holy cow, look at... Oh, by the way, just so you know, the minimum rim size requirement is 17 inches. So your factory wheels will not fit. But luckily, I already got a pair of 17s. So we're good to go there. So next, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to aim the line appropriately, and we can go ahead and tighten up this line, also these bolts here, and then we'll take this one out and switch it. All right, let's get to it. Okay, again, excuse that noise, it's extremely hot out here. So everything back here is tight. Okay, I'm going to put this piece up to there in the back. Should be good to go. Then we popped in the brake pads, you know, obviously, which are very important. And we have the brake pad hardware here. And yeah, we're gonna pop that in and we should be good to go. Okay, and the proper way to install the brake hardware is you go under, right? Then this pushes down, you push this down like that, and slide in your last pin. And that's it. And after a proper bleeding of the brakes, we are done on this side. So I'm gonna complete the other side and then we're gonna move to the back. But literally, you cannot fit anything smaller than a 17 in here. As you could see, clearance from the spoke, just barely. Look at that. But it clears. All right, so on to the next. Okay, excuse the wind, but this one is pretty straightforward. I'm gonna take this one off here, take that one off there. We're gonna end up bleeding the brakes from that guy right there, which is a 10 millimeter. And that's it, we're gonna replace this line. Again, excuse the wind, but that is a 100% upgrade. I actually use the Cadillac CTS-V front brake lines for the rear, and it gives you just enough to lock it down and a little bit extra for suspension travel. Perfect, perfect. All right, we're gonna do the last side, and then after that, take an overall look at the car. That is beautiful, all right? I think now we have plenty of everything to go for our first drive. All right, so we are gonna go for our first drive. Alrighty, here we go. excuse the washer in the background, but the front lip is on. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. This lip is actually from a, I think 2002 Mustang, pretty much Mustang. So, yep, and it fits pretty much perfectly. I think there's a little bit of trimming that needs to happen here, but it's not too bad. Not too bad. All right, so definitely let me know. Pop that on there, and then we're gonna do some subtle work in the trunk area. Let's get a couple side shots. Yeah, it's actually not that bad. It can actually probably stay. Probably, but yeah. So let me see if I can get a good shot of that lip. Yeah, not bad. So yep, so next we're gonna move on to doing the rear spoiler. So in the back, I've noticed that these clips, they actually screw into the metal, and it's leaking from the back of this because this is cracked. Same deal on these. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unscrew them, silicone the base, and then silicone on the actual screw, and that should make a watertight seal on these areas here. Then we'll put the trim here, then we'll put the spoiler back on here, and we should be good to go. So yeah, we got to do that. Okay, so this is all dry. This should definitely stop the leak as far as petrified plastic on most likely a discontinued item. And this is ready to come up. So let's take that off and pop the spoiler on. Take the tape off of here so we can put the spoiler on. All right. Okay, so we got the rubber grommet that goes into here. These are our mounting points as far as keeping everything where it's supposed to be. And yeah, we're gonna put it together. All right, so it is on and tight. Everything looks good. Last thing we have to do is plug in the brake light right here, and that's it. So yeah, so we're gonna plug that in and take a look at the spoiler completely reassembled. There we go. Now she is looking like a car. All right, so that's all fixed and looking good. Needs a wash and some paint. She'll be right as rain. And we're gonna call it an episode right there. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment down below to let me know what you think of the front lip, the big brake kit, the brake lines, and the rear spoiler. If you're new here and like the episode, definitely consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon for updated notifications, so when I post, you get notification. And if you are already here and subscribed, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That really helps the algorithm, and also helps me get new content to you guys, including new cars, which is always fun. But with that being said, remember guys, knowledge is power, and I will see you next time.